In a small village, there lived a poor Brahmin named Swabhava Kripna, which is a name that means roughly a man of naturally miserly disposition. He lived alone, begged for his food, and kept whatever he didn't eat in a clay pot that he hung beside his bed, eating from it only when he was truly too hungry to resist. One day he received such a generous quantity of rice flour in alms that even after eating his fill, the pot was completely full for the first time in his memory. He hung it on its peg, lay down on his bed, and gazed up at the pot with the quiet satisfaction of a man who has, for once, more than enough. And then he began to think. If a famine were to come, and famines did come, this was a real possibility. He could sell that flour for 100 silver coins. With 100 silver coins, he could buy 2 she-goats, and goats bore kids every 6 months. And soon he would have a flock, and he could trade the flock for buffaloes and cows. The cows would give milk, and he would make butter and curd and sell it at the market. And with that money, he would buy a fine house with 4 buildings arranged in a square around a courtyard. And a wealthy Brahmin, seeing his prosperity, would offer him his daughter in marriage, a beautiful girl, accomplished in every way. And he would marry her, and she would bear him a son. He would name the boy Soma Sharma. Soma Sharma would be, as sons tend to be, somewhat difficult. Playing all day, making noise, running through the courtyard, refusing to listen to anyone, the way children do when they are small and healthy, and completely uninterested in the concerns of adults. And one afternoon, Soma Sharma would be particularly noisy, and the Brahmin would call out to his wife to come and manage the boy. And his wife would be busy with her household duties and would not hear him. And the noise would continue. And the Brahmin would grow steadily more and more irritated until, still lying on his bed, still fast asleep, still dreaming of a son he did not have and a wife who did not exist, he drew back his foot and kicked. His foot connected with the clay pot hanging beside his bed, and the pot shattered, and the flour cascaded down over him in a white cloud, and the Brahmin woke up covered in everything he had. No house, no courtyard, no wife, no Soma Sharma. Only the broken pot and the flour settling slowly around him in the dark. The Panchatantra has been telling this story for 2000 years and calling it a warning against building castles in the air. And it is that, certainly. But I think there is something more specific happening here than simple daydreaming. The Brahmin didn't lose his flour to greed exactly. He lost it to an argument. An argument with a wife who didn't exist, about a son who hadn't been born yet, in a house he hadn't built, with money he hadn't made, from cows he hadn't bought, with goats he hadn't acquired, from flour he hadn't sold yet. He travelled all the way from a pot of flour to a domestic dispute in a 4-story house, and felt the anger so completely that he acted on it. In his sleep. We all do this. Not with a clay pot beside the bed, but in the mind, which is a much larger and more elaborate place to build things in. We construct the conversation that hasn't happened yet and feel the hurt of what they haven't said. We build the failure before we have tried and grieve what we haven't lost. We arrive at the argument, the disappointment, the disaster, and feel every emotion of it in a future that may never come. And sometimes, in the middle of all that elaborate construction, we kick the pot. We say the thing we rehearsed saying in our head to a person who hadn't done it yet. We withdraw from something we haven't tried because we have already failed at it so many times in our imagination. We break what is actually in front of us, reaching for something that only existed in the dream. I'll leave you with one question today. What pot are you in danger of breaking while dreaming of the house? This has been The Long Thread, Ancient Stories for the Present Moment. If this story stayed with you, follow the long thread and wake up to a new one tomorrow.